Shalom, shalom. This is Ohana by Abiezer. It's been a long time. First, before I start anything, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yehovah, the power that created the heavens, the earth, the power that put life within me and you, the power that gives us this breath that we get to breathe, to even be alive. I thank Him for life and this opportunity. Kol kavod eleka Yehovah. Welcome back, everybody. It has been a very, very long time, and for good reasons. More than, I would say anything. I am grateful to be able to bring a word back to you. I felt inspired. It is the Shabbat day as I'm recording this, and I was going to sit down, lay down, and just get my rest because this week was exhausting. And I am getting my rest. I'm focusing on the Creator, His Word, and that's what I was up. Listening to His Word, listening to some people, also that I call repairers of the breach, restorers of the ancient path. All those who know themselves, who are working to restore the name of Yah in this earth. And I just felt so inspired. I felt inspired, and I said, I can't. My work is not done yet. My work isn't done. As Yah says in the book of Isaiah, His remembrancers do not keep silence until the walls of Jerusalem are built. That has been a big, those words have echoed in my head for years. And I knew it was going to come a time where I would start back speaking the word of God. And I never stopped. I just was in a place where now I can look back. The Creator was preparing me. He was molding me. I became clay again. I had to get remodeled. I just wasn't, and I still am not perfect, but I know the Most High had His hands on me. And that's what I want to come and talk to you about today. In this world where there is so much going on, we have this age of social media. We have access to almost anything at our fingertips. It is so easy to get distracted, especially those of you who have the Spirit of God in you, who are righteous people, who are people who do good deeds every day. Those are the people that God loves. Small things like helping an elder with heavy bags, open the door for somebody when, they have a lot in their hands. Helping somebody, maybe their car is broke down and it's a safe enough situation for you to stop and assist them. Taking up for someone when they are in the right and you see them being condemned when they're right. Just small gestures of kindness and righteousness. Even you, I'm talking to you, like, who are out there just trying to be a better person every day. I'm speaking to those people and everybody who, I see so many people just on the world. We have access to so many more than we used to. You can meet people on social media and you think you know them because you follow them, but you realize there's the search of God that is very prevalent in today's society, and people are waking up. There's a consciousness in the earth. But again, as I started off, it's so easy for those good people to get discouraged or even to just get off their course and off their alignment with the Creator, because it's easy to, unfortunately. The world has made it so easy to do evil. But I'm here to give you that word of encouragement to keep doing it. I want to share an experience with you. For those who don't know me, I am Ohada. Again, Ohada ba Abiezer, meaning Ohada bat, daughter of Abiezer. My father's name is Abiezer. And I started One Third podcast during the pandemic. There was a spirit that came upon me. I know the Creator touched me during that time. I was up, there were times where I was up to 5 o'clock in the morning recording my podcast, and I had to work like an hour later. But I just had so much energy, because when God puts His Spirit on you, like, there's no stopping you unless He wants you to. And I started my podcast during the pandemic. And it was just from my heart. I just felt like it was my portion. It was my position to teach. And not just to teach, but to just share and express the goodness of Elohim to everybody. And my brother also inspired me to start that podcast. He was listening to Gary Vee, and he was constantly playing him out loud. One day I heard him say, basically he was saying people should start podcasts, and I was trying to find a way to talk, because if you know me, I love talking about the word of God, and it just so happened to be in that way. That's how the Creator moved me to start that. And I did it for a good consistent almost 2 years, and I enjoyed doing it. Again, it was my portion. I did it because if there was a revelation that came to me, and I'm not saying like, I heard the voice of God and he told me to say this. I'm not saying that. I know there may be individuals who have that blessing. I'm still growing, but there would be times where I know the Spirit was like, you should speak this, that what people may call intuition. And my godly intuition was just saying, you need to share this. So I was doing that. I was doing it. And in my life, it was my early 20s, and life hit me also during that time. And I also got distracted. I got very distracted. But I also was just in a place where I was questioning. I was asking Creator, like, after I was doing that podcast for a consistent year or so, I just felt like this energy was gone from me, y'all. I really felt like I lost my spirit. I really did. And I look back now, and as I started in the beginning, I know that it wasn't a losing of a spirit. The Creator was refining me. He was putting his hands on me to make me a better person. And so, yes, I stand before you today a little better than the girl or the young woman that you knew when I had 1/3 podcast. So I say all that to say, the distractions are real, and you gotta be really careful out there. Really careful out there. And you have to implement strategies to stay aligned with your purpose, because believe it or not, just as much as you, at the sound of my voice, are striving every day to come closer to the Creator and just become a better person and surround yourself with people with like minds, there's also forces that are striving to get you off your track, that are really out there. It's not a conspiracy. It's not like a fake make-believe. This is real. There are things out there also trying to avoid you from reaching your greater higher self, as I would always say. There are forces and vibrations out there really trying to get you to stay as low as you can and to never elevate and grow. And you have to be cognizant of that. So I'm here to share those tips with you. I'm here to express my heart. I feel it's my duty to do so, as now I do recognize that the Creator has touched me once again. You got to really be vigilant out there. One important thing that I would say, and I've been talking about this a lot, as I'm in the background, you may not see my face. I mean, I do have a real life outside of this, but I know I can reach more people. And so I know this is also my job to do this, but I am constantly always speaking the word of God. I never have wavered from that path. In the background, I'm always talking, with my family and people close to me, close friends, close family members, extended family. I'm like, y'all, we have to be really careful with this social media. It's a very positive thing, because one, I can share with you, like in situations like this, but then there's another world to that, and we all know it. You see it on your algorithm, you see it when you're scrolling. Maybe you are entertained by those things, or maybe they are just a distraction, and you must know how to move around that so that you can stay in line with your purpose. I remember just recently I was talking to my Abba, my father, and he gave me 2 words. And he said, I stay focused and I stay humble. And that has dawned on me. And I just love getting advice from my Abba, because it's always just so perfect for me. And it embodies the law when the Creator says, honor your father and your mother, because the words they can give you, the wisdom they give you, it's always going to be timely if you really are open to listening to them. So that's something I've just been putting into practice with this social media. If you are younger than me and you're listening to this, I want to implore you, do not allow social media to become your world. There is a life outside of you to be lived. This phone, these devices can be used for good things, but if you're constantly bent over and you're scrolling all day and you're losing focus, you're losing the basic connection that you need with other human beings, you will be swallowed into that world, and you will be easily influenced. And even older people can take this advice. It's so important for us to remember that there is a world outside of these devices. These devices can become a distraction, and I think it is the number one distraction in our day and age. Some people glorify us being in this age of technology, this age of answers and access to what maybe people back then didn't have, which that's a whole nother topic, and I have my own thoughts about that. But not many are realizing that there's cons that go with this. There's disadvantages to having access of all of this. And it is said in the book of Daniel that in the last days, knowledge would go throughout the earth. It would be just like it is today. And so this is prophesied, but at the end of the day, you got to know what knowledge you're consuming and what knowledge you are disregarding so that it doesn't corrupt your soul. Because believe it or not, everything that your mind comes across, everything that you allow to have 1 second in your thought pattern, just in your thinking and even entertaining as a thought, corrupts your soul if it's bad. Now, if it's good, it enhances you. So think of that when you are scrolling on social media. Think of that when you're allowing social media to take up your time. There's so much more time you could be given to the creator other than social media. And I would say that is the biggest distraction that even I have to tell myself, hey, come on, put that phone down. Like, imagine phones with us without phones. We would have better connections with each other. We would have better understanding. We wouldn't have to use calculators to validate our mathematician brains. We wouldn't have to use Google to validate the truth that some of us already know. But unfortunately, we are now putting this technology above instead of realizing that it's just there to play a role, but it's not the supreme. So that's one distraction I would just expound upon. Being a servant of God, you have to be careful not to let these be a distraction to you. Imagine how God is looking at you and he sees that the time he's giving you on this earth, which we don't have forever, you're using it on a device, so I'm just keeping it real. I'm also talking to myself first, but these are some of the distractions, believe it or not, that can and will take you off your godly course. I am being so honest with you. There's no way that you can tell me that it's okay to use technology for everything and not become distracted and dissuade from the way of God. There's no way you can tell me that with a straight face. There's too much evil on social media. There's good and there's evil, and that is, in the beginning, like in Genesis, in the garden, there was a tree of good and evil, and there was a tree of only good. Just because there's good and there's also evil does not make it good. However, good can exist without evil. So yes, this technology has its good, but you also got to be very careful with the evil, because it is set there to sway you off the path of God. Another distraction, because of social media, and not only social media, just the music industry, and so many other influences that are not righteous role models, are causing our generation to be sexually promiscuous. And so that is going to be another distraction for our generation. Lust, not being able to have strength over your carnal flesh. If you're not able to do that in the day of age, you could be easily swayed off the path of God. You have to learn how to you have to learn how to not let your flesh overrule your spirit. There's some ways that I learned how to do that throughout this time of healing that the Creator has put me under his hand and under his shadow. I learned that waking up in the morning, I don't like to say that word, however, that's the word that many may know. Once I wake up, I pray. I try my best not to think of anything. If there are thoughts that come and flood my mind, I silence my thoughts and I go straight to thinking of the Creator. I thank him for the pillows I get to lay on. I thank him for the bed I'm on. I thank him to look up and there's a ceiling, meaning there's a roof over my head. If I'm able to use a fan to keep me cool throughout the night, I thank him for that. I try and listen for birds, and I thank him for that. So I start with very small things. And you may ask, okay, Ohada, how's this going to help me overrule my flesh? Well, the more that you can control your own thoughts, then now you can use the same strategy, to then control your spirit in times of adversity. It has helped me tremendously to control my flesh. So that's one way you can learn, because again, we do live in a very sexually promiscuous generation. Learn to meditate, and I'm speaking of the meditation according to the Bible. The Creator in Joshua 1:8, he commands us to meditate on his word day and night. That's thinking of it. So Unfortunately, some people may be like, how am I going to think of on God all day, every day when I have to work, I have to chase my bag, and I have to reach my goals? Well, you won't be reaching none of that if you can't put God before that. It is very possible to do. My father always taught me praying is not always going on your knees and lifting up your hands. Praying is sometimes when you're just going about your day. Like for me, I have the privilege of working from home, and I do my best not to forget the Creator. Some days I just break out in silence, Todaya, which means thank you, God. For those who don't know Hebrew, I just say Todaya, a short prayer, and I may think of a scripture or remind myself of some word that maybe I'm working on and it's going to better assist me, and repeat it over and over. So we serve an intelligent Creator. You have to know what He means and what He expects of us. You have to make it possible to comply with His law. You can't try and circumvent His. Another big thing that I want to share with you that I feel is relevant in our generation, and this one is more personal than anything I've shared with you, is being discouraged. Being discouraged. Being discouraged. I have encountered, I'm a 25-year young woman. I'm not too far from, I feel like I was just 19 yesterday, so life has really just went swoosh. Like, I don't know where time went. However, I can remember when I was 19 and I was very, like, people may say naive and gullible, but unfortunately, like, I feel like if the world was perfect in the way the Creator created and there wasn't evil and corruption, that naiveness, that naivety, that gullibleness that innocent children possess, it would be able to be protected in a heavenly society and not taken advantage of. But unfortunately, in this world, you have to guard your vulnerability because you're not always surrounded by people who cherish vulnerability. Unfortunately, they take advantage of it, and yes, people even close to you. So I'm bringing that up because I have that spirit, very innocent. People have called me naive because I see the good in people. And of course, with the wisdom of God, He has taught me how to have discernment. And even through those who do love me, such as my parents and people that are around me, they have taught me, you have to walk through life like this because, yes, that's a good spirit to possess, but people will take advantage of it. So, learning how to deal with that was something really hard for me because I thought everybody was good. And I'm not saying that I'm so perfect. I've never hurt anybody. No, I'm not saying that. I've never intentionally hurt anybody. I can tell you that. And I can tell you that with a straight face because it's not in my heart to do people evil. But just growing up and, through these years of, I'm now in my mid-20s, it was hard for me realizing that not everybody is kind, not everybody has good spirits and good intentions for you. That was a really hard pill for me to swallow, unfortunately. And I always joke with the special person in my life, and I always say I came from another world. I came from a heavenly paradise because I don't get how people have to grow cold just to live in this world. I just don't get it. I want to be surrounded by people who love the Creator and who have righteous intentions. And of course, we may make our mistakes, but we can deal with them. However, growing in, I'm still very young, but in my early 20s, it was very hard. It really was. And that's when I also started the podcast, but just realizing that people have their own ways and they will take it out on you. It hurt. It really did. And one thing I learned in that lesson is you cannot become the people who hurt you. It's very easy to do that. If you are aware of yourself, you can see patterns of you starting to act out those same patterns that people did to you because they when people hurt you, you may find yourself doing the same thing because you're protecting yourself. And if not, that's something that I dealt with, and I had to catch myself. And that took prayer, that took asking the Creator to open my eyes and make sure, to fix me and make sure I wasn't doing things wrong because people hurt me. So it takes a strong spirit to take pain and not want to inflict it back. You really have to be strong to do that. And through learning that process, I did become very discouraged. And for a small moment, but I had to tell myself, you still have to love the Creator. And one big thing for me, I never blame the Creator for it. And I'm very thankful for that. So for those of you who may be similar in spirit like that, don't blame the creator for it, because another big thing I'm going to throw in there, but I'm going to try my best to stay on topic. I realize we as humans, me and my father were just talking about this today. Him and I, we keep getting punctures in our tires. And we were joking, like, my father was like, those are iniquities and sins. Like, sometimes we blame small things on the creator. Like, sometimes it's just things happening to you in life. And so that's the inside joke that we were actually joking about earlier today. And it's a big thing. Like, don't blame God for everything. Don't. Sometimes it's the way you deal with things that cause that. It's not always him doing those things to you. And I feel like we use God as a scapegoat very easily when things aren't going our way. And sometimes you just haven't been acting correctly, and there's a cause and effect, and that's just it. It's not always him doing that. He really wants good for you, but you got to clean up your ways. So I had to realize, and I caught myself very early. I went to him. I went crying to him instead of being angry that people were like this. And I just asked him to surround me with people who may not be perfect, but are trying to grow and be righteous people. So a big thing, again, don't become discouraged. You are going to find that people, people in this world you're going to cross paths with, unfortunately, don't have good intentions. Sometimes those people, too, are just very, very hurt. They were once innocent beings. We all were born innocent, but they've been so hurt and so wounded that the only way that they guard and protect themselves is by being very harsh to people. And you have to not let that discourage you. I talk to myself first, and to you who maybe need to hear that, because if you let it discourage you, you can easily let it discourage you from the creator, and he's not the one that you should take that out on. I'm really big on that. Just go to him and ask him to just maybe remove those people from your life. Don't do harm to them, but maybe if you two can't, those people in your life can't see eye to eye, even ask him, if you're kind enough, like, I think it's really good to just ask him to heal them. Because again, people are good deep down inside, but there I go again with my good. But I really do believe everybody is good. This world of evil has just really influenced even righteous people, unfortunately. So I say that to you, don't become discouraged. When you feel like things aren't just, you just feel like the world is just a bad place, you have the creator. You really do. And no, you cannot see him. He's not a physical being like we are, but he's there. He's there. It says that the spirit of man is like the lamp of the creator, searching the inward parts. So because you and I have this spirit, once it's taken away, we breathe our last breath, we're gone. But while you have that spirit in you, it acts like a lamp. So the creator can see everything going on inside of you. He knows when you're sick before you do, before the doctors do. He knows what thoughts you're thinking, what thoughts you're going to think. So connect with the creator, and don't let the bad that people do push you away from the creator, because it's not always him doing that. Unfortunately, it's just people in the world that are like that, and that doesn't mean that we should take it out on the creator. That's a big thing that I want to encourage you. I don't want to keep it too long. I could go on, but my biggest lesson I would want to share with you as we start back these series, Restorers of the Ancient Past, repairing those breaches that we've broken with the creator, is to keep the creator first throughout anything. Don't put technology before him. Don't put anything before him. I'm telling you, nothing. The moment something tells you to put God, the creator, first, and you pick up that phone instead, you're putting something before him. So it's really good to take the time out and acknowledge that you didn't forget about him. It really is, like, it works. My life has shown that. My life has also shown when I don't put him first, what happens. He gives me back just what I'm giving him, and that's only fair. So it's really good to be back. It's really good to have the spirit of the creator on me, and I pray that he puts his spirit upon you. And again, those who remember the creator, don't hold your silence. Don't be afraid in this world where it feels like evil is dominant and it's more popular. Don't be afraid to continue to speak the truth. Don't become discouraged of the truth. Don't let lust and the sexual promiscuity of our generation overwhelm you to sway you off the path of righteousness. This freedom of sexual expression, don't let that give you off focus. That's just the devil's advocate to take the servants of God away from their purpose. And also, when you feel like that spirit, when you feel like you're losing yourself, when you don't know what's going on, sometimes it's just the creator molding you. You're the clay, he's the potter. Sometimes he's just molding you, and that can be painful. But hold your silence with him speak not during that time, especially if your tongue is bitter. And just be patient. It can take a year. You just gotta wait on the Creator. And that's a really big thing that I've learned throughout this journey of healing through Him and Him making me a better woman, is holding my tongue. And I had to learn that lesson the hard way sometimes. But hold your tongue when He's working on you. Sometimes you may ask, I had to remind myself the other day, there are a lot of times I ask the Creator to prepare me for certain things. And you may not know how that looks, and you go complaining because things are different in your life, but you have to stop yourself and remember your prayers. That's a big thing. Again, don't let, keep your tongue silent when God is working on you. It can be very painful. You're hearing it from somebody who's been through it, and it's not going to be my last time, but I'm glad that I have the experience to know how to deal with it next time. There's a season to be planted. There's a season to be dug deep in the ground of darkness. And then there's a season when that seed starts to barely sprout. And I feel like that's where I'm at. And I can speak now because I'm above the surface. So I pray the same upon you. I pray that the Creator continues to be with you. And again, you got to be very careful with this social media. Use it for what it's for. But remember, there is a life outside of it that was here before all of this. And don't let it consume you. You got to be very careful not to let social media consume you. It is not it. If all this shut down one day, what are you going to do? I was just asking a few young ladies that I was teaching them a baking class. And I asked them, if this was all shut down, will you all be able to survive? And it's so important to ask yourself that question and prepare yourself for that, because you don't know what the future holds. And this is what man created could be destroyed. So this is just the beginning of what I feel the Creator's putting upon me to share with you. I'm sending love, and I pray that all those people who are searching for the Creator, even if you are confused and you don't understand who God is or what God is, continue to just search. It says those who search with eagerness, those who search with excitement, like you're going to study something that you just learned, you're going to find it. It won't be in vain. You may not find it tomorrow or next week. You got to be patient, but you will find it. Ask and you shall receive. I'm a testimony to that. I wouldn't tell you nothing different. So again, servants of the Creator, those are you, repairers of the breach, restorers of the ancient path. Hold not your silence. Don't stop speaking this truth just because evil looks dominant. It's going to fall one day. Hold not your silence. The Creator hears every one of you, even through your simple askings in your personal time where you're just pondering like, why is the world like this? Those are askings, and He hears those things. So let us not hold our silence anymore. Let us not keep quiet. Let us take over in righteousness, because this world deserves righteousness. We need more righteousness upon this earth. And all those remembrance of the Creators, don't stop thinking about them. Don't stop praising them, because one day it's going to pay off. I'm going to share one more thing before I go. And it ties into this, when sometimes you realize that, because I'm going to say this, humans are social beings. We need connection. And sometimes this social media can disrupt that connection. When you're at a dinner table and you're on your phone and you're not connecting, you're going against your nature, right? So we need connection. I start off with that because there was a time I was in a situation, and it made me go home and really think to myself, like, wow, people are really like this. People really don't have good intentions. People really are tit for tat. And it hurt me. It really did, because I didn't grow up in a household like that. I grew up with a father who did not gossip, a mother who did not gossip. They didn't teach me that. They taught me, you talk about other people's kids, prepare for your kids to be talked about, the Creator to do something to your kids. So I was raised on very Southern traditions, and I would say biblical traditions, because those are those are morals that come from the Bible. So that day I just pondered, and I probably was crying too, because again, I'm a human, and I don't numb that need for connection. I'm not afraid to express I need my brother, I need my sister. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not going to let the world make me feel small because of that. Yes, I'm human, and I do enjoy connections, genuine connections. So it hurt me, that situation. But I got up, and I know it was a creator. He always wiped my tears, and I mean that figuratively. And he picks me up, and I said, I don't care. This might hurt, but I'm going to continue to strive to be righteous, because I cannot say that I'm righteous. I can't say that. Only the creator is the judge. But I'm going to do my best to do the good that I know I should do. And I said, because one day it's going to pay off. And I'm not doing it for the reward, no. But I know that the creator sees all of us who are trying and pushing through the hardships that this world that we've created, unfortunately, because we've turned our backs on him. And now we want to turn back. We expect him to turn back just as fast. He's going to turn back when he's ready, when he sees we're ready. But don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop doing the right thing. That's my word to you. Do not stop doing the right thing, because the creator sees everything that everybody's doing. Everything that everybody's doing, even in our secret places. You can go in the closet and he's there. He sees everything that we do. So yes, he sees the good too. And that's what made me smile that day. And I said, I'm going to keep doing what's right. It might hurt, but people do to me. And even the things I cause upon myself, I got to be able to admit that I ain't all that. But I'm going to keep doing the right thing. And that's my word to you. Even through the hardships, keep doing the right thing. As my Abba told me, stay focused and stay humble. And I would tell you, stay aligned with your purpose. All praises to the Creator. All praises. Keep doing the right thing. Shalom.